Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Jack Graham here, Realtor with Simply Vegas, and we're back today with another housing market update. Today we're not only going to talk about the data on what's happening with the new listings coming up, interest rates rising this week, but we're also going to talk about foreclosures and pretty much how many foreclosures we have right now, because that was one of the things that I hear the most in the comments, right? Where you have somebody that says, oh, foreclosures are just getting started, they're coming out, we are up. We have 219% higher foreclosure rates compared to last year. So we're going to cover all of that right now in this video. I'm going to try to make this a little bit quicker so that I can keep you guys updated every week on what's happening in the market. So let's get into it. Number one, let's talk about foreclosures. As you can see here from this article, foreclosure starts are up 219% from last year. So 1 year ago, we had way less foreclosures than this year. And it is a title that kind of, really stands out there because it does show a lot of fear, right? And if you just go onto Google and you start searching for foreclosure rates and all that stuff, it will show you all kinds of percentages. But it really, you have to really understand the data behind it. And are we actually getting a lot of foreclosures? How much is 219%? If we were down 400% and now we're up 219%, we're still at half the foreclosures that we used to have before the pandemic. So that's where, we see a total of 117 properties started the foreclosure process within the first 6 months of the 2022. How does that compare, though, compared to other years? Because we had such an abnormal market in the last, 2 years or so. How does that compare? And when you look at the data right here, as you can see, 2022, we had 164,000 foreclosures in all of 2022. 2021, we had 65,000 foreclosures. Okay, that's very low. I mean, historically, it's very low. You look at everything here all the way until 2020. In 2020, we had 165 foreclosures, even during because it's a little bit backdated. It takes up to a year to get someone out of the house, right? So this is probably data from the year before. Okay, so what this is showing me so far is, if you look at 2015, 2016, we had 500,000 foreclosures, 600,000 foreclosures a year. And those were years where the economy was booming. Real estate was rising as well and all that stuff. So as you can see, foreclosures have been going down. This is just abnormal right here in 2021 because of the pandemic. They stopped all the foreclosures. So we had 65,000 foreclosures. But then they released all the regulations and everything. And now foreclosures are coming back on the market. And we're at 165,000 up until today, which is, we're in August right now, 2022. And that's why we have all of those, all this data. Now, it is going up, yes. But is this something that I'm concerned about right now? Not really. I was expecting this to happen because at the end of the day, you have, a lot of people that were taking advantage of the situation during COVID that didn't get foreclosed on, and now the whole legal process is starting. That's gonna happen where foreclosures are gonna go up. But are we gonna go up to these levels back in 2008, 2009 foreclosures, where we had 1,600,000 foreclosure starts in 2010? That's crazy, right? Then we started seeing foreclosures going down, yeah. But anyway, that's pretty much for the foreclosure. I just wanted to put it in a different perspective and actually look at the data to give you more of, kind of an idea. When somebody talks about foreclosures, they're just reading the headline. Oh, foreclosures up, 219%. Yes, it is from 2021, right? So that's why I wanted to put that into context, okay? Anyway, with that said, honestly, there's not much to talk about when it comes to foreclosures. The only thing is maybe I can give you a little bit of prediction what I think. I think we're going to go back to maybe, seeing these 300,000 foreclosure starts, maybe to make up these 2 years in 2020 and 2021 of what didn't happen during these 2 years. It might go up. Is it going to be something really significant where we're worried about it, about too much inventory coming on the market? Personally, no, I don't think that's the case. I think we're in a relatively healthy market as far as the foreclosures goes. All these foreclosures were due to bad lending standards from 2008, and all those people that had bad lending standards that took out these loans had to get flushed out of the market to get rid of all these bad loans, and that's why we had all these foreclosures here back then coming down. So is that going to be the case right now? Yeah, we might see a rise to make up these numbers, but then eventually it should flatten out at around 200, maybe 150, 200 for a normal market. That's going to be for the foreclosures for today. Let's talk a little bit about the housing market. What's happening here? New listings coming on the market. And check this out, guys. And this is normal for the time of the year, okay? So we had a lot of listings come on the market. This was like I think it was peak fear, where we had the most amount of people freaking out. Everybody online was talking about housing crashes and all that stuff. I had the most amount of calls here talking about, I'm worried about the house that I'm under contract. Everybody was freaking out. Everybody was locking interest rates back here because it was back in June, right? Where we had a lot of people put their house on the market, which is totally understandable. I mean, there was a lot of fear out there in the market. But I told my clients, as usual, calm down. Everything is fine. The world is not ending. You're going to be fine as long as you're in it for the long term. Everything is good. And thank God they listened for the most part. I had some clients cancel. I probably had about 2 cancellations so far because of that reason, maybe 1 or 2, but it was a very small amount. Most of my clients locked in the interest rates, so they're set. But right here we had this ramp in new listings. We're bringing a bunch of inventory on the market. Everybody was freaking out. This was back in May, going into July, okay, and up until the end of June. And then after the end of June, we started seeing listings, the amount of listings coming on the market going down. So now instead of getting 1,300 new listings every week, now we're having 1,200, 1,100. Now we're back down to 1,000 new listings. Okay, year over year, that's still 10% less listings compared to last year. And this is due to less inventory, but everybody, when they start seeing this go up, they think, oh, it's going to keep going up forever. The uncertainty freaks people out. So more people list their homes, trying to get rid of it, thinking that, everything is going to go bad. But what we're seeing right now is less listings coming on the market, which is going to put a strain on the inventory, because if we don't have homes to sell, obviously prices are going to go up. However, in addition to the listings coming up, we also have less buyers coming on the market. So if we look at the pending sales, it kind of flattened out. So this was, obviously this was back in April, May, and June. This is where we saw that first decline of how many buyers are coming out on the market. And we're looking at weekly here. We're looking at 800 back in what is it? Not weekly. It's actually monthly. We're seeing 800 people buying homes, 843. This is in the Las Vegas area, by the way, Las Vegas metro area, which is Henderson, Las Vegas, and North Las Vegas. Right now, we have 491 people buying homes. We saw a little bit of an uptick here, so it's not really significant. We're just looking at that difference and in pace. And as you can see here, it looks like a bottom out where we might go back to a normal market right now. And we still have pending sales. Homes are still selling, 419 homes in a month, between July and literally August 21st, which was just 10 days ago. But less activity also on the market. However, now that we have less listings, we should have that kind of, stabilizing the market, right? And we'll go into the listing price also. The new listings. We covered new listings. We covered pending sales. Off the market in 2 weeks. Less people are taking their house off the market within 2 weeks. And that's because most people before were thinking, I can sell the house for 20% more than what it's worth. And then they get on the market, especially with higher interest rates, and they realize, oh no, you can't sell it. So they started taking off the house off the market, reducing inventory. Right now, we have less and less people taking off their house on the market. As you can see right here, we're pretty low amount, which indicates to me that there are, sellers are adjusting. They're saying, hey, we're not in the market that we had back in January, February, March. Right now, we're in a market where we need to price the house right. We can't just price the house at whatever price we want and we will get it, or get some kind of activity. We need to go a little bit more conservative. We have to, let's say the house could have sold for $380,000, $400,000 before. Now we have to list at $350,000, $360,000. That's what's happening, right? So that's what we saw so far. Homes sold, we have less homes sold, as I mentioned, and we also have less. This is pretty much going on par with the pending sales, but also with the amount of listings. It's very similar. We have less listings and less people out there buying homes. Okay, new median listing price. This is how much people are listing their homes for. Median listing price right now, it was in June, it was $442,000. We're up to $445,000, how much they're listing their house for, but it doesn't mean that's how much it sells for. The median sales price, we saw at the peak, we are $456,000 back in end of May, to now $420,000. So from last week, we are down $2,000. So instead of $422,000, $420,000. Okay, which brings us to how much do we see in decline? We're still 10% above what we were last year. Okay, so year over year, 10% above, like higher prices. However, 456 minus 420 is about 36,000. So that's about 8% or so. 9% down from the peak when everybody was going crazy. But it looks like we're seeing some kind of bottom out. I don't know, I might be wrong. We are seeing, however, interest rates have gone up in the last week or two. Look at that. So we were at a low right here at the end of July at pretty much 2.65. That was a good time to lock in your interest rates. And then now we are at 3.2. And this is the 10-year treasury yield. For those of you who don't know, it's not exactly the same as far as mortgage rates goes, but it really follows this trend a lot. When it comes, mortgage rates follow this interest rate. So from 2.65 plus whatever the bank charges, the spread that they make, we're probably going to be here. We were at around, I would say, 5 to 5.25 for a 30-year mortgage. Right now, we're probably at around 5.75 to 6% for a 30-year fixed conventional loan interest rate mortgage. Okay, which means we're up quite a bit. We are at the same level as it was back in June. So if we keep seeing this go up, which I don't think so, I think we're gonna be at around that rate, around 3% on the 10-year treasury yield, which is going to be probably 5.5%, 6% interest rates on your mortgages. If we're around that much as far as interest rates, it might be, it might stabilize the market finally. So I think right here we're going to hang around at this rate, in my opinion. Now, I can't see the future, guys, so don't take me on this, but, just wanted to give you my opinion on that. As far as the 30-year mortgage rates, we're looking at right now 603 is what we were at just on August 31st, which is today. So that's pretty cool. Not cool. I don't like 6% interest rates. Obviously, I want buyers to have a lower interest rate, but that's what we're seeing right now. That's what we have if you were to get a 30-year fixed rate loan. Okay. One last thing I wanted to cover is the difference between buying a house in January and buying a house right now. How much is your monthly payment going up, right? So let's just take this house, for example. It's $499. Let's look at this. So if you were to get a loan, if you would have gotten a loan back in January if you put down 20%, Well, most people don't put down 20%. Let's do 5%. That's usually a conventional loan, and you have PMI and all. So let's say 5%. Okay. If you were to put down 5%, that's $25,000 on a $500,000 home, 30-year mortgage at 3%. Mortgage insurance, I think it's a little bit higher than this. Let's change that really quick. Let's get a little bit higher. Mortgage insurance, homeowners insurance, mortgage insurance. I have to say you're gonna be at around 100 right here on this price range. So let's do that. $100. We're looking at $2,359 a month for a $500,000 home. However, right now, same terms, same percentage mortgage insurance and all that stuff, at a 6% interest rate. So without you having to buy down or anything, we're looking at $3,204. So we went from $2,300, almost $2,400, to $3,200. That's a over $800 higher payment for a house that is $500. That's quite a difference. Okay, and that's what's been going up like crazy. We're looking at we're up about 40% from the beginning of the year to now, as far as your payment going up. And that's one thing that I know for sure. Not that I know for sure. Nobody knows anything for sure, right? Only that we're eventually going to die one day. Death is the only thing we know for sure. But I think that the amount that a house is going to cost you monthly is not going to go down. Affordability is not going to get any better. So you're not going to be able to afford a house more in the future compared to now. What you do have the chance to do is get in a home right now. If interest rates go down for a short period of time, you'll be able to afford a better house if you get it right away as soon as interest rates drop. But we'll see the market change in no time. So personally, I would think about purchasing a home right away if I'm looking for it, maybe by the end of the year, because we're seeing some really good deals out there. We saw KB drop prices $50,000 across the whole valley on their base price. But only the builders that were overpriced actually dropped their purchase price. So if we're looking at KB or maybe Toll Brothers or other builders, most builders, they dropped their prices because they were overpriced, but some builders kept their prices high. And it also depends on which location you're in. So for the most part, most builders dropped their prices anywhere between 3 to 6% or so, maybe 8%, which is what KB did. But all the other builders, probably 25% of builders kept the prices at the same. They only discounted or maybe gave incentives towards closing costs towards spec homes, which are homes that came back on the market, And they were able to do that because at the end of the day, they had, the deposit from the buyer that didn't go through with the house. Since it got back on the market, they were able to go ahead and sell to somebody else with a discount because they kept the deposit from the prior buyer. Anyway, that's going to be it for today's video. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. If you have any questions about it, keep commenting. Like, for example, about the foreclosures, I read that in a comment. And I said, you know what, it's something that I probably should cover, and that's why I covered it at the beginning of the video. If you guys have any questions or anything, something you would like me to cover, feel free to reach out to me or just leave a comment out there. Let me know, hey, what's going on with foreclosures or what's going on with pending sales, whatever it is, right, that you want me to talk about next time. I'd love to hear your comments. Also, your what you think is going to happen in the market. Just want to give you this quick market update. And thank you so much for watching. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel.